Okay. Now, I want to talk about Tyson Fury. I know you mentioned a summer fight for him. Is that still on the table? And is Andy Ruiz still one of the leading candidates for that fight?
No, not really. We're focusing on is the Chinese kid that beat Joe Joyce.
Okay, so
Whatever his name.
Zhang's the front runner for that fight?
Yes.
And is that likely for July, or have you had any date for that?
It's likely for July. We're trying to close that out over this weekend.
Okay. Now the whole situation with the Saudi, the
What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my big buff Donny. Not my big buff Donny, but a big buff Donny. Wesley Ava coming through and boosting the coin, no doubt about it. So, we just heard there from Bob Arum. Now, I can't lie to you. Listen, I think Tyson Fury going to be fighting someone the caliber of Mahmoud Shah. However, I ain't going to lie to no one. I'm not going to be biased, yeah? If Tyson Fury fights Zhang, he's going to get the full ratings, in my opinion. Well, no, tell a lie, no. He won't get the full ratings. He'll get ratings as a true champion. True champions are supposed to fight the best back to back to back to back to back. And that's what I've wanted. Yeah, if Fury had fought someone, one of the top guys, even Ruiz in December, that's what you're supposed to do. You shouldn't be fighting no Chisoras. You shouldn't be fighting no Paninis. You shouldn't be fighting no whoever else is. Top guys. Top three every time. And we all know the top three. We all know the fights we want to see. And Zhang is the guy. I've been pitching Zhang full stop. Zhang's above Dubois. Zhang's above Hergovich. Zhang's the guy right now. Zhang's above AJ. Zhang's the guy who popping chops is. He popped Hergovich's cherry. He popped Joe Joyce's cherry, unfortunately. And actually, I can't lie to you, I do feel a bit sorry for Big Joe, but either way, man, it's done now. It is what it is, but I have to put an asterisk, or I have to put a bit of a caution on my optimism for this fight. Why? Well, Bob Arum just there. Listen, Bob Arum's 100 million years old, so it might be the case he's old, yeah, but what did he say? Oh, yeah, we're looking at the guy who beat Joe Joyce. What, you don't know his name? So wait a minute, you're telling me you're in negotiations but you don't know the guy's name? You ain't got a clue about the guy's name. Now, it might be the case that Zhang isn't a European name, so it's got lost in his 100-year-old head. I don't know, but you just don't know. The thing about Tyson Fury, you just don't know, people. Let's not forget that. This isn't. I'm not going based on my biases here. Like, oh, I'm just YB. Fury always tells us who he's going to fight, and he fights that person, and you're just being no. Let's not forget September. I'm fighting AJ. Then it was, I'm fighting Mahmoud. And then he goes for Chisora, so you can't blame me for my skepticism here. The fans want Zhang, because there's no one else. Wilder, you punched up. AJ, he's trying to cash out. Really, in fact, I can't think of a better fight in terms of pure boxing. Who's earned it in that sense? Wilder hasn't earned a rematch. AJ hasn't earned squat. Dillian hasn't earned squat. Joe just got beat. It's Zhang. Zhang's the guy. There's no better guy. Andy Ruiz ain't done squat either. What's he done? Okay, yeah, to be fair, no, Ruiz actually, he beat Luis Ortiz. Yeah, that's not, but Ortiz is 60-odd year old. You know, we got to be realistic here, people. But so yeah, on that basis, Zhang beat a prime Joe Joyce and Zhang beat a prime Hergovich. That's number one. There's no one more deserving than Zhang. And I also think financially, we know Bob gonna get the financials right. I was saying from the start that this could be a huge fight in China. I don't see why not. How many times have you heard of a Chinese heavyweight contender? In fact, how many times have there been a Chinese heavyweight, what's they call it? Not contender. A Chinese heavyweight, whatever you want to call it. Fighting for a belt, that's it. Fighting for a belt. I've never heard of it. Not in the history of the game. And we know every government is, well, allegedly patriotic, but the Chinese and the Russians, they take their sport seriously. So do the Americans as well, but do you know what I mean? Like I said the other day, $100 million to the Chinese government is peanuts. That's what I'll be doing. If I was managing Tyson Fury right now, I'll be pitching it to the PBOC. Simple as that. No doubt about that one. Just go straight there. Go straight to the big ones. And then, to be quite frank, there might even be some, well, there obviously is, but there might even be some big billionaire, what do they call it? Some big billionaire Chinese oligarch dons who got the coins to put up. So either way, that's how I'll be pitching it. In the UK, the fight's not that big. In the US, the fight's not that big. Well, Fury can't fight in the US anyway. That's the play. And I think, I did say at the time, if the Zhang fight happens, that's what it will be. It'll be because the money's overwhelming. We know Fury loved the money. It could possibly be as big, or not, if not bigger than the Saudi fight with Usyk. But anyway, I've digressed. For now, there's a bit of hope in that sense. They're talking about July. I mean, the end of July. So we've got what? Less than 3 months. So it's close. It's coming in. But 3 months is a long time, all due respect. So a lot can happen in 3 months. But I like these fights to be done 3 months before, not be, we're talking to this guy. Because we have this, let's not forget that, people, yeah? For example, Fury was talking to AJ for a December fight in September. So you got September to December is 3 months. Yeah? There was 3 months for the AJ fight to be made. And what happened? And I don't know whether it's some sort of consistent theme here with Tyson, but it's like, we'll start negotiations off with a big fight. And then 8 weeks out, let's run out of time. We could better get a bum in. That worries me. So what I'm going to say is, whilst 3 months is a long time, it's only really a month. Yeah? Because a month from now is going to be 8 weeks out. I don't believe Fury fighting anyone half decent on 8 weeks. I just don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. So, on that basis, if we get to, I'll give him to the middle of June. If we get to June 14th, yeah, and this Zhang fight ain't done. Now, you could argue, but it could get pushed back to September. Listen, I'm confident Fury's going to be fighting in December for the Saudi bag. So, there ain't going to be no September fight. Unless it's a complete bum. There's no way. Maybe I'm wrong, yeah. I don't believe Fury going to fight a hard fight in September. Well, never mind what I believe. Show me it on paper. Show me where Tyson Fury has fought big fights back to back in 3 months. And even, to be honest, that's what I mean, even August only leaves August, September, October, November. 4 months. I mean, when was the last time Fury had 2 big fights, within 4 or 5 months? I've never heard of it. In fact, I even sure when he had 2 big fights 6 months apart, which is the usual champion schedule. Tell me when. Tell me when Fury, has fought 2 contenders back to back with a 6-month span. Never mind 4 or 5 months. So, statistically speaking, the odds aren't great of this one happening, or of a Zhang in August and then Usyk in December happening. However, possibly a good thing here is that Zhang's a southpaw. So is it the case that Fury wants to warm up on Zhang, who's a bit... I mean, Zhang's got pop in his hands, but he's obviously bigger, and he's got to be slower than Usyk. So it does that gives me some faith, logically speaking, but these guys ain't talking logic. These guys are talking coins. And I ain't even sure they're talking coins, because Fury got offered coins to fight Usyk back in December and didn't turn it down. So it's not even about coins for Fury. Maybe if it's about losing, he ain't going to want to fight Zhang either. Bottom line, people, I hate to break it here, but it's the truth. If it's about losing, it's not about coins. He could have had a whole bunch of coins in December. So if it's about losing, Zhang's a big man, and he's not slow either. I was watching that Joyce fight back, and his left hand is pretty hair trigger, the way he pops it out. So, I don't know. Logically, the fight makes sense for Fury. Get used to a southpaw. And in fact, Zhang and Usyk have a similar straight left hand. It pops out, they pop it out. It pops. So it wouldn't be a bad fight to get accustomed to. I mean, how many top level southpaws are there in the heavyweight division, full stop? I can't think of any. Zhang is the next best one. I actually think that wouldn't be a bad fight to watch. Does Usyk get through Zhang, who's 6'7" and 280 pounds? And Zhang can fight as well. Zhang ain't no AJ in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Zhang knows how to fight, and he will fight back. He won't just shell up and quit on his stall, essentially, like AJ did. So, I can't lie to you. Zhang versus Usyk is 50-50. I don't see how anyone can put, especially because Usyk loses his southpaw edge. So does Zhang too, but still, Zhang's got all the other things. Zhang's got the size and the weight and the chin as well. Usyk's got a good chin, but anyway, I've digressed. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this fight gets done for July. I'll give Fury his full credit. And that's all we've ever wanted from him, man. Just do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be fighting Zhang. You're supposed to be fighting Usyk. You're supposed to be fighting Joyce at the time. In fact, that's a good point I forgot to mention on this fight, because so far I've only talked about the Tyson Fury side of things, but having mentioned Big Joe, I'm not sure, and that's what worries me as well, because Bob Arum and Frank Warren, they're all interconnected, and Tyson Fury. So they know Joe Joyce has a rematch clause. You know, one's there, and that's, again, this is a negative thing, implying the fight's not going to happen. Wait a minute, yeah? Team Fury know Zhang and Joe Joyce have a rematch clause. Now, Joe has nowhere to go now. Now, I don't know the exact details of his rematch clause. If his rematch clause stipulates that it's 1 year and you can have a warm-up fight in between, then great for Joe. Then Joe can... I think Joe needs to change trainers and tighten his defense up and learn how to defend a straight left hand before he fights Zhang again. But outside of that, either way you look at it, if Sam Jones, who's somewhat close to Joe, he said, there's no point doing warm-ups. Joe's got nowhere to go but to rematch. Now, if that's the case, why Team Fury shilling the Zhang fight, knowing... Because contracts, I guess you could argue, well, step aside. But is Tyson Fury going to pay Joe Joyce step aside? He might do. But I'm not going to... We can't get into the weeds of that one. The fact of the matter is, Joe Joyce has a rematch clause on Zhang. And the odds are well over 50% that Joe's going to initiate that rematch clause next. Because he's got nowhere to go. Joe, his big thing was, I'm WBO up next. Now, who want to fight Joe now? Don't get me wrong, Joe may look more vulnerable now, but no, people ain't going to be lining up to fight him now. The reason AJ and Dillian White wanted to fight him, potentially, was because that was their get back into the belt. Now it's just a hard fight for what? For nothing. So the Zhang fight is, Joe need that get back. He need that W to put him back in the mix. So what are the chances of Joe Joyce allowing that one? And to be quite frank, even if Joe gets, obviously... If it's a big fight in China, yeah, and Joe's offered millions, then take the step aside because you've cashed out anyway. But outside of step aside money, Joe has to take the Zhang fight. Bottom line. Because otherwise, forgetting about the step aside, even if if Joe Joyce allows Fury to fight Zhang, and Fury beats Zhang, then Joe's FUCK'd because, well, he's FUCK'd until he gets himself into another mandatory shot, because then Fury will be the WBO interim champion. You understand? Fury will take Joe had it, now Zhang's got it. If Joe takes step aside and Fury beats Zhang, you're just out of the mix completely then, because you don't have no claim on Fury. Now, obviously, if Zhang beats Fury, then you're laughing all the way to the bank, because you've got a rematch clause that's still valid with Zhang. But I got to be honest here, I'd still back Fury to beat Zhang. Just because, yeah. I mean, I think it's a good fight. I think it's 60-40 or 65-35, but I'd still back Fury to win that fight for what it's worth. I think, but it's interesting for sure. That's what I'd be lying to you if I told you, yeah, I'd put money on Fury winning. There's no way he knocks Zhang out. That's what I would bet. There's no way Fury knock out Zhang. And if Fury knocks Zhang out, then I'm back on the bandwagon in terms of him being able to punch. So yeah, it's all complex and complicated. At the end of the day, as I always say, man, time will tell. If I was to bet, I think they're gassing. If I was to bet, it's going to be a bum. But that's just me. And if it's not, you know me, I'll come on in and say I was wrong. And I ain't going to do no Simon Jordan. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I can't lie to no one. So yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%.